Hello, thank you for being here. My name is Camila Pechous and I'm recording from Chicago. Today I'm here to talk about intentionality. You may wonder why I'm here. My background is in writing and UX content, and at Pinterest I'm on a team of content designers just like you who are creating great information experience with a global impact. I'm an immigrant. The work that I do has the potential to affect lives back home, and that thought is always at the forefront of my mind. My home has also shaped me as an individual, and this is reflected through the work that I do. My values, beliefs, and experiences all stem from my upbringing and my cultural background, and I incorporate these aspects into my work in order to make it more meaningful and impactful. It's about being intentional. To put it differently, intentionality is the practice of designing with purpose, understanding the needs of the user, and making conscious decisions to achieve specific goals. It's easy, right? I know here we're all content designers, so please take a moment to remember how many times designers ask you to fix a bad experience with copy. I know you can relate. And design and content collaboration fails all the time. And it can be almost impossible to bring intentionality to your design when your partners, who still don't quite understand content design, don't respect your work, your time, your process, or your mental health. How many times you had to justify your role just to prove your value? I know, I've been there. When I reached that senior level, it felt like I hit my career high point. I could finally explore that content first approach, getting in at the right time and work with design, product, research, engineering. We're all creating this amazing holistic experience. All I wanted was to be part of a community and have a sense of belonging and also make an impact. And I also wanted exposure to leadership. When I was assigned to work on this new product, which was part of a bigger flow for design, I noticed that it was really hard to connect with my partners despite my introductions, brown bags, road shows, all that great stuff to explain content design process. Roles and responsibilities weren't clear enough, and it created confusion, frustration, and ultimately I burned out. Then I started to think that I didn't belong here. I didn't belong in this industry at all. I don't know how many times I considered leaving design. Then recently, an amazing leader and career coach opened my eyes, and it's what I'm bringing here today. Organizations might not change, but what if your job were to just own the expertise and point of view as a content designer, making more intentional design decisions? At the end of the day, we can't control people. Even if your arguments are persuasive, they won't matter if people are determined not to listen. You can decide how to best use your energy given that reality, instead of crashing into the same justify yourself wall over and over and over. So what I propose here is that we create a change through intentional environments. An intentional environment is how to approach the design process. It's setting up the conditions that foster great work. We tend to focus more on the design work and deliverables, and we forget the environment that gives birth to the work. But no matter how brilliant your designs are, they will die in a toxic environment. your designers will burn out and quit. Ed Catmull, co-founder of Pixar, attributes his success to this type of environment, in fact. He says that you can't force talented people to work well together, but you can build an environment that nurtures trusting and respectful relationships. So how do you and I create environments like this? I have 3 proposals. One is to choose intentionality. This may seem obvious, but it is essential to start with intent. You must believe that the environment has an impact on the success of your work, and you have to choose to allocate time and energy towards creating it. Step 2 is to take action. Intent is meaningless without action. Start creating your intentional environment by sharing principles, which are statements of beliefs that define that environment. These principles should serve the team dynamics that foster great work. After you establish these principles, craft the practices that will support them, and we will talk about this later. Finally, step 3 is to activate the environment for others. It's about bringing the intentionality to your team. Let's dive deep into this. How do you begin? So the first step is to determine the principle that you want to change. Then you can experiment with them. So let's dive deep a little bit more. How do you begin? After developing a principle and a practice, experiment with them. Share your intentions with your content designers. This approach provides an opportunity to envision a team in a new light. Empower both yourself, your team, your partners, and it could establish an environment where the work is valued by everyone. I can give you examples of how to take those actions and turn them into intentional environments. For example, if you want to carve time to bring more intentionality to your team, how about you sit down and work on a pre-mortem? Think about all the ways something might go wrong so you can effectively stop it from happening. You can also try and do a 5 whys. If you want to create a space to learn more about other teams and the problems that they're trying to solve, just being curious, dedicate time, maybe once a week, to do a 5 whys. Ask whys 5 times to get to the root cause. But if your principle is to generate more ideas as a group, bring everyone together, outline an idea, and let each person develop that idea the way they want. We call this round robin. So let me show you how you could run a pre-mortem workshop. Just a recap, a pre-mortem is a strategy that will help you prevent problems. Think about what could happen in a project and make a plan before it starts. Here, I'm mixing pre-mortem with lightning decision jam, which is a type of workshop to solve big problems. So before you start the workshop, define the goal and the focus for the day. That will help you come up with ideas and solutions and focus on all the exercises to follow. So let's get started. First step, start on a positive note, right? In this example, I'm using a project that's exploring a new IEA navigation plan, right? So what is moving the team towards this new plan? So ask the team, to write on a sticky note and keep writing until the time is up. You can set the timer for 5 minutes, and this is done silently with no discussion. Then you're going to jump to the problems. Think of a challenge that's holding you back from reaching the goal. The goal here is to launch this project. So ask the team again to write it on the sticky notes and think of all the problems that could be a roadblock in the future. Then you're going to move those stickies and ask for a voting session, right? In order to prioritize the problems and how to resolve those issues. So each person will have 3 votes, and here in FigJam, I'm using stars. So each person will have three little stars to vote on the problems. So read all the sticky notes and place your votes, and try to time box this step with only 3 minutes. After that, reframe the problem as standardized challenges. This will help you prepare for the solution ideation phase. So as a moderator, you are going to take the top voted problems from step 3 and reframe them as challenges. For example, here, the most voted problem was the slowed or delayed review process. You move it out here and then start framing it as a how might we statements. So in order to improve the review process, how might we speed up internal meetings to get approval? How might we have clear communication with XFN partners? Then you start thinking and moving to the ideation phase. Try to think of solutions that are low effort and high impact, so it keeps you moving forward and fast with your project. So think of the solutions to the challenges, and if you feel stuck, for more guidance, always refer back to the original goal, which is to make a change, to make an intentional environment for your team and collaborate better. So the solution for this I have this example here. How might we speed up internal meetings to get approval? We could improve workflow without automation, or we can tag approval owners in advance ahead of the project. Then again, as a group, you should read all the how might we's, and again, each person has 3 voting dots. Vote on the solutions that you believe will have the most impact on solving the problems with the least amount of effort. Try to time box this phase in about 4 minutes. Then finally, it's time to decide on what to execute on. The moderator will take the highest voted solution to place on this effort impact framework. As a group, you should quickly assess the impact of the solution and assess the effort required to implement it. You place the stickies in this agreed effort and impact area and repeat with all the other top voted solutions. Try to focus on the sweet spot here for quick wins, right? The low effort and high impact. This require a little bit of more time, so Time box about 10 minutes. Then finally, make solutions actionable. Each action has an owner and a deadline. So you as the facilitator now takes the solutions into this sweet spot, right? The quick wins, low effort, high impact, and ask the team to come up with action steps and then assign an owner and a deadline. Ideally, this action steps should take about a week or so to complete. Having thought through risks and made a plan to mitigate them, you will walk away feeling a lot more confident in your project's chances for success. Not only that, but the process of assigning action items and owners reveals a lot about what each person's role is on a project. It is a perfect opportunity to clarify roles and responsibilities. Everyone should leave the room with a clear and shared understanding, an intentional goal. In summary, this is the manifestation of intent, and I invite you to do this. Every time you work with a new group of people or a new project, craft a new environment. Ongoing attention to environments shows care and respect for the people working within them. In other words, instead of proving your value while trying to be intentional, you and your teams will actually be intentional because you will be more and more invested. This is designing with intent. Reframing our approach to difficult collaboration, deciding how to use your energy, and questioning the obvious. Take care. Thank you.